welcome to another episode of Sludge Underground podcast. I'm your host Nasipi Zwane, and I'm bringing you yet another fine episode on Sludge Underground. As you know, Sludge Underground is that podcast that is unscripted and uncut, and we bring you the best interviews from both prominent and obviously upcoming artists. And today is no different. I've got a really special artist here, as always. And yeah, her name is Shanya, and I'm really stoked to be chatting to her. Shanya, how are you doing today?
I'm feeling good. And how about you?
I'm doing really good, actually. I'm super excited for us to jump into obviously both singles that you've released so far. And before we get to that, though, I feel like it's really important that we get some background, on who you are, where you grew up, and what got you into music.
So I grew up here in Limpopo. I'm in a small town called Bella Bella. I live on a small little farm. So you can basically call me a farm girl, but I have city dreams, basically. And the passion for singing kind of started at an early age. I was at the age of 7, and I always had to make a song about something. If I was making food, I'd sing about it. If I was feeding animals, I'd sing about it. So it kind of just became a thing that I realized that I really do enjoy. And then the passion kind of grew as I grew older, and it became really serious.
I think it's actually wild that you grew up in Limpopo, because if you think about it, like, there's not really much that you hear about the place. The only thing that I know about the place is literally where it's situated. So did it have any sort of impact or effect on the music and you sort of jumping into that sort of career path?
It did, definitely, because so here in Limpopo, it's a very small town where I live. So you are unfortunately surrounded by small-minded people, and when they hear that you don't necessarily want to study to become a doctor or something big in the world like that, then they kind of become demotivating. They're not really motivating at all. So it was challenging to really go for what I wanted in this town because there was such negative vibes, if I could put it that way. But because of where I am and where I grew up, it just made me technically stronger and made me want it more.
What makes it even more interesting is the fact that you're not only from a province that's not really known for its music, but at the same time, you're also doing a genre that is not really at the forefront when you're looking at South Africa as a whole, which would be sort of like pop music in a way. So what would you say actually prompted the decision to actually jump into pop music, which, as I said, is a genre that isn't really at the forefront when you think of South Africa?
The reason I chose to go with pop music is because I love, in general, pop music. And I have dreams to not just be national known singer. I want to become an international known singer. And internationally, worldwide, pop is the biggest music genre to go for. And yeah, I just love pop in general.
And you pull the sound off so well. This is something I noticed when I was watching your debut music video, Here For You, and just how well you execute the sound. And it also made me realize, the power of the internet, because, if you're releasing something on YouTube, that's not only serving a South African audience, but you're also reaching a global audience as well. So how much of an importance would you actually place on things like social media and the internet when it comes to your push as a pop artist?
I'd say that if you utilize them, they'll do your music justice. And I'm still a beginner when it comes to social media and things like that, so I'm still learning everything. And I still have a few, how do I say it, a few hurdles to jump over when it comes to social media. I'm not fully confident when it comes to social media yet, but I will say that social media these days, what I've seen with people in our generation, especially when COVID came, it really helped people, I don't want to say come out because you don't physically go out, but it helped to communicate with other people and helped to engage with people from far. I mean, through Instagram, I communicate to friends that I know in Brazil and still in America and things like that. So it helps you to be able to share your music better in a way, instead of just sending it to like your friends and say, oh, please help me share the song. It helps you branch out and put your song onto a platform where everyone can see. I mean, if you are looking for a producer, you're going to put your music on people in that certain industry.
You mentioned still having a lot to learn when it comes to social media, yet your social media pages look really clean, they look really professional and international and such. So, do you have a team running that for you, or are you basically just doing everything yourself?
I run all my social media by myself. My main focus is Instagram and Facebook. So they will be my most recent posts and everything. TikTok, I'm still not really confident about, but I'm getting there. So there's not really a lot of content there. And then Twitter, I honestly don't know how Twitter works, but I post things there. So yes, I try. And my producer, Gino Lee, he taught me how to use like distributors, like 1 RPM is the one I use. And Indie does it, Genevieve. She also helped me with creating all of these profiles and helping make sense like how everything works. And so I run my own social media, but I did have guides.
Having to run your social media must be, I don't know, like, does it add to the experience of being a musician, would you say? Or would you say it's sort of like I don't want to say a burden, but extra work for you, considering that, as an artist, you have to obviously deal with making the music, the production, performance, such, and then on top of that, you have to now run your social media. So would you say it sort of adds to the experience of being an artist, or would you say maybe it just adds to the workload and it's a bit hectic?
I'd say it does add to the experience, but I do have to remind myself a lot because I'm constantly trying to write new songs because I want to keep the flow. I don't want to linger for too long without music and putting myself out there. So it becomes a bit like I really do forget to post. And luckily, I have my parents that remind me and just ask me, Shanya, when are you posting again? Like, what are you posting today? And I'm like, oh goodness, I forgot. I totally forgot. So, and I mean, I only graduated, my goodness, imagine, matriculated last year. So it's something I'm still getting used to. So it's like I have to now learn how to adapt to life and not school, and also still write music, make time to go down to PE to produce the song with my producer, and then also come back and still put it on social media and things like that. So I must say, my Instagram was quite dry recently until I knew when my song was coming out. Then I was like, okay, now I gotta get on it. So I just need to focus on really keeping the flow of my social media so that I don't really lose that flow because the flow is really, really important. So I have to keep reminding myself not to forget.
I never would have thought that you actually matriculated only last year, to be honest with you, because your music just sounds so mature, beyond your years. And you obviously also mentioned, having to go down to PE and working with the producer down there, which means that, you're spending a lot of time, making this music. Is this a decision that you made, before you matriculated that, listen, next year, I'm going to be focusing on music full time? Or are you maybe doing something else? Are you maybe studying on the side or working? What's the situation?
So I decided last year, ironic in my matric year, um, to start making music. It's something I've wanted to do for a very long time, but I've been just way too scared to do it because, you know, teenagers, judgment, not a good combination. But I just, I met Nate Butler at my agency, 33andMe. I met him and he said, or I asked him like for advice because I felt just stuck. I have this passion, but I don't have it in me to get it out. And I asked him like, what do you think I should do? And then he said, a talent is a gift. And it's called a gift because it's meant to be given. So why are you scared to give it? And that kind of motivated me to push aside the doubts I had and the fears to just do it. So I kind of DM'd the producer and I was like, what do you think about this? And then as soon as I noticed we in PE and producing in my matric year, I mean, I think I did that just before I wrote my final exams. I went down to record that. So I was literally in crunch time and um, I was supposed to shoot the music video end of the year last year, but then yeah, with exams and stuff, I couldn't do it, so I had to do it this year, and that's why the song only was released this year. And then after I released the first song, I was like, I can't not release more. I mean, I've already started rolling the ball, might as well let it go down the hill. So then I decided I'm gonna try and actually make a career out of my singing. I know it's possibly the most difficult choice that I made because I think that singers in general really struggle. I mean, I think they struggled the most during COVID as well. So it's a very tough industry that I put myself into. I'll put it that way. But I've just been making music and I will be relocating to America next year to go study musical theater in New York.
Yo, that is incredible. You must be super excited.
I really, really am. I can't wait to go.
I'm excited for you, and I think you deserve it as well because the amount of dedication and hard work that you put into your work, obviously having to juggle the music thing with the exams towards the end of last year and having to travel from Limpopo to, PE to make music, it just shows how dedicated you are. And you also mentioned your parents having to remind you to post on social media. How much of an influence have they had on you making music? Are they happy that you're making music and that you've chosen this as your career path?
My parents are really, really supportive. They've supported me my whole life long. They take me to competitions and things like that. My dad is a businessman, so when I told him I wanted to do singing, you know that face like, okay. So my mom is like all for it. She's like, okay, we're doing this. So, but my dad's coming around this year. He's driven me down to PE twice now and helps pay for the recording and the releasing and the whole process. So without my parents, I don't think I would have really had any songs to release at this moment. And yeah, I'm just really grateful that I have parents that are supporting me in a dream that I have instead of forcing me and telling me, go study to be a lawyer or a doctor, something big in the world, then go for your dream.
You mentioned two names earlier, Gino and Genevieve. Obviously, Gino having played a hand in both single releases that you've got to date, and Genevieve obviously playing a part in the PR. So, how was it actually working with Genevieve and Indie Does It, who, by the way, helped organize this interview? So, shout out.
My experience working with Genevieve was really, really amazing. Like the hype she had created for my song really, really helped push it, and the way that she synced out my song also was just it blew my mind. Like for me it was so overwhelming actually in the beginning, and she told me, don't worry, you'll feel a little overwhelmed. But in the beginning when she started sending me for interviews and it's phone calls like 2 times a day, and then when I look at the whole week I'm like, wow, I actually have an interview almost every day. And that was blowing my mind because I mean, here in Limpopo, we don't have radio station and stuff like that. Like here in my town, we have the newspaper, and that's the biggest thing that you can get here. It's the newspaper. If you're on the newspaper, wow, you hit it. So getting all of this, like this podcast interviews, radio interviews, it really did mean a lot. And the effort that she put in, I take my hat off to her because I don't think all PRs really do PR work justice as she does.
I think it's kind of funny that the biggest form of media in Limpopo is, a newspaper.
It's literally.
But I mean, the fact that you've gone beyond that there just shows, how much work you've been putting in. And obviously, shout out to Genevieve as well for making all that possible. Now, let's look at Gino. Gino, obviously, as I said before, he co-wrote your debut single, Here For You. And he was also a producer in the song. So how has it been sort of working with Gino?
Working on Here For You, I was a bit nervous because it was my first single. And so I didn't really know what to expect. And I've never worked with Gino. That was my first single working with him. So the writing process, I had written that song and then we did a few Zooms and went through over the build. So he really explained to me like the build of the song. So now I understand what I'm doing instead of just expecting it to naturally happen. Now thought goes into what I'm writing and how it should be written and the build exactly. So Gino really helped me learn a lot about music more than what I knew before. And the recording process, I was so nervous. Oh my goodness, it was so stressful. I've never sweated so much in my life. My goodness.
What happened?
Like standing in front of that mic, I normally always sing covers. And now I was like, I'm standing in front of this mic, recording something I wrote, not someone else, me. And that just blew my mind because I can't explain it. like I'll have to take a video one day and post it for people to understand when Gino makes music. I swear he makes it look more fun making it than when it's actually done. Like the passion he has for making the music, it motivates me and makes me want to make more music. It's like as if he loves it more than I do sometimes, I think so. But the way he makes the music and he's so I literally can't explain it. It's just like you have to see him make the music. He's just so passionate that it motivates me to like write more so that I can come back and record again with him.
How did you actually overcome the nerves though? Because, they could sort of get in the way, right?
Nerves really do get in the way. I mean, when I was younger, I was super nervous and the whole mic would shake. And then it sounds like I have a lot of vibrato in my voice, but it's really not. It's just me shaking. But in the studio, in the beginning, it was really, really stressful. But the more I started to sing, the more comfortable I was getting. So it became easier because we recorded for 2 days, the one song. And the first day, I'd say about 20 minutes, I was really nervous. So then we would just sing through the song until I was like relaxed and comfortable. And then it came to a point where I was just so comfortable that I could like close my eyes and just sing the song, and it felt right.
That's very impressive. Now, looking at the lyrical content on Here For You, you obviously touch on a relationship or that sort of vibe. So tell me a bit more about who this was actually about and maybe the whole scenario around or surrounding what the song is about.
This song is about my current boyfriend. We are dating for 3 years. So 2 years ago, he moved to Cape Town. And so now I'm in Limpopo and he's Cape Town. So it became a long distance thing. And then it was COVID as well. So no flights, couldn't visit each other at all. And so I wrote this song when I was really missing him. And then I just felt like, even though he's so far away, he needs to know that I still support him and I still motivate him. Like my feelings are still there. And then I realized with this song, like it doesn't even have to be for a specific person, like love wise. I mean, it could be for a friend that you haven't seen in a long while, or like a granny or a family member. So then I realized like the song actually could be diverse. It's not just for one love. There's different types, friendships, relationships. So that kind of made me happy because I was like, people can now interpret it into the way that they need it.
And that's what makes it so relatable, the fact that it doesn't only apply to your relationship, but it can apply to anyone's relationship. Now, was this a conscious decision that you made, or did it just sort of happen?
That kind of sort of just happened. It wasn't meant to be a song, actually. It was just, I wrote feelings down on a little notebook. And then when I looked again, I was like, oh, some of these lines actually rhyme. And then I was like, okay, what would it sound like? And then I enjoy singing my feelings, if I can put it that way. So if you've ever seen someone perform live, you can see when they are in the song and when they're not.
Yeah.
So I love to sing what I feel, because I feel like if I sing about it, I'll get over it faster. When I'm angry, I'll sing like this really raging song, and when I'm sad, I'll sing this really sad song, because I'm like, okay, let's sing and get over it. And then I was like, okay, I'm sad now. He moved away, so let's write about it. And then I was like, maybe if I sing about it, I'll feel better. And then I sang it, and then it kind of got stuck in my head. And I was like, what if this could be a song? And then I just kept writing it. And then I was like, you know what? Send this to Gino. Let's see what happens.
I absolutely love how everything came together so naturally. How did your boyfriend feel about the song?
He loved it. I think he was possibly the biggest fan of that song. And he helped me share it everywhere and stuff. And then he purposefully asked who was it for? And I was just like, really? I don't think you need to ask that question, but anyway.
You mentioned that he helped push the song as well. Has he always been the supportive, even prior to you writing the song? Has he always been like, Shanya, this is your dream, I support you 100%, go for it?
I think that's something that came with time, because we were very different. I mean, he was very sporty person and I was more cultural. So in the beginning, he didn't really understand like what my goal was. But now throughout the time, he understands. So now he's like full flame, putting it everywhere.
I'm glad you came around. And you obviously also credited Rosa Cortez, who's your mom, for basically dressing you up for the music video of Here For You. And she did a really incredible job. Shout out to the mom, real quick. How deep did she actually go as far as, dressing you up for the music video?
Well, when we looked at the scenes, we discussed with Ricky, which was the videographer, and he explained to us the scenes that are going to happen. My mom's always been the costume lady. With every singing performance I've had, she's like, "Oh, you're going to wear this. Imagine this on the stage." And so when it came to the music video, like we were talking about the scenes that's going to happen and what exactly we want to be shown in the music video. And she would sit next to me and she's like, "Oh, you know that top," while he's still talking. And she's just telling me, "Do you know that top? Yeah, that top is going to work. Oh, with that pants. And then this hairstyle." And oh my gosh, the ideas just pop into her head. And she's like, "That's working. That's working."
Shout out to your mom. Like, seriously, on the show, you've actually had two moms that have appeared. I think it was Red Robin's mom, and Zita's mom as well. And those episodes are really just incredible. So this is an informal invitation to your mom to actually get on the show so that she can give us a first-hand experience of what it's like being the mother of Shanya.
Oh, that would be so cool. I think she'd love that. She might just take over the whole show, but it's fine.
Rosa, if you're listening to this, please get on the show. Now, looking at the fact that you dropped a song on the 24th of September, I want to look at the lyrical content of that particular track, because there's a stark contrast between the things that you talk about in your initial song, and obviously now this one, where I like to cite a line in this song where you say that I guess I'm still lost inside my head, said I never fall for you again. Are you talking about an experience that maybe happened between you and your current boyfriend, because you did say you guys are still together, or are you referring to maybe a past relationship? What is sort of the situation around that there?
So this song, actually, let me tell you how this song happened. So I went down to PE to record 2 songs. I had written 2 songs already to go record. And then when I got there, Gino told me he has an idea for me. And I was like, okay, well, let's hear it. And then Gino had written the first verse, pre-chorus, and chorus already. So he sang it for me, and I was like, "Oh, when are we recording this?" And he said, "We can record it tonight." So we had recorded the whole day, and then from 9 to 10, we finished writing the song and recorded it in an hour. That's how much we loved it. And so it was crazy. Like, the main idea of the song came from Gino. I channeled something in the past to help me be able to put words into the song, basically. So 4 years ago, maybe, I had dated this guy, but it was always on and off. And yeah, he was not good for me, if I put it that way. That's why toxic is the label of that song. So what happened was it's an on and off relationship. So it was always, she knows he's not good for her, but she goes back in anyways. And then every time that they break up, she still can't. It's like he's just stuck in her head. And she knows, like, she needs to actually, like, get away from him, but she just can't. It's like he's always, he can, like one of the lyrics says, "Why do you make me lose my," and then it says, "bulletproof vest of self-confidence," because no matter how hard she tried to have this bulletproof vest, his one shot just like went straight through it, and it just basically broke her down every time that he came in. And then she realized that he will be flexing his fake Ferrari, but she sees it. Like, you're not fooling nobody. And then that's where she snaps back to when they crashed, and she remembers, even though there was fun times, as they claim, she still remembers that crash every time. So it was like something that kept on happening that wasn't supposed to be happening.
This is why I was saying earlier that I feel like your music is just so mature. and the fact, looking at the way that you just explained the whole scenario that happened between you and obviously your ex, and just how mature the content is. Do you ever consider, like, how easy is it for you to open up, like that, especially when you consider, the things that you speak of, in your debut single as well, like obviously the long distance relationship, and obviously having to open up on Toxic as well, about a past, toxic relationship and such. Do you ever think before you release a song that, hey, what will my mother think, or what will my current boyfriend think, if I'm singing about, past experience with an ex and such? Is that something that you ever think about at all?
I do think of it at that moment of writing it. Like, do I really want to say this? And like, but my main thing that goes in my head is, will people be able to resonate with what I'm saying? So when I write, because I like to write what I'm feeling in the moment, because I feel like it just makes the song a lot more better in a way, because I know that the emotion's in there. That's why I channeled emotions, even though it's not precisely the same thing that happened as it says in the song, but I still use those emotions to channel emotion into the song. Because I mean, people want to feel something when they listen to music. You want to feel a connection to the song. So it is difficult in the beginning, because then I realized, like, okay, I'm actually putting something personal here on the line, but I like the way it sounds. And I'm like, okay, this is me basically telling a story of my life. Because one thing I realized, I can't be a closed book about my past, because my past is my past. I can't change nothing about my past. So why hide it?
True, true. Now, looking at the track, obviously it's out everywhere. So what are the plans for it? So, are you going to be releasing a music video for it? Let us in on that.
We're going to see first how it progresses, because making a music video is quite pricey. So we did the music video for the first song and loved it. But now I have to give my songs, my music, chance to start help paying for things, if I can put it that way. Even though, like, people think music, like, really pumps money, if I can put it that way. But when you really go look at the statistics of making music and what it actually brings in for you, it's really not a lot. Like, you really have to hit big to actually make something out of it. That's why, like, the music I make now, I know I'm not going to become a famous person of South Africa within 5 months of my career. Never mind 5 years, maybe. But I am prepared to wait 5 years until I reach my success point. Like, I don't expect to give myself a year, release 3 songs, and say, okay, now I'm a hit. Like, it's not realistic, if I can put it that way. In music, it's not really realistic. If people do that, like, you are blessed, really blessed. So I am prepared, like, to really release my music and really work for it and wait until that one song comes that really puts me out there. Then I can start investing into myself. Because at the moment, it's like you're investing in yourself, but there's no flow that's going. It's you putting money in your own pocket to make your own money. I mean, your own music. So I'm patient when it comes to my passion. I'm not forcing anything on people, and I don't want to rush the process, because I feel like something that happens too fast is not going to last long.
What a beautiful quote. Thank you so much for that, Shanya. And I feel like your 5-year plan, with all the things that you have planned, like going to America, coupled with your social media push, together with your perseverance and hard work, you could achieve in 2 years. So I really hope that everything you do from here onwards really just pops off. And for anyone who wants to continue following your journey, what are your social media handles for them?
My social media platforms all have the same name, so it's easy to find them. It's Shanya_music.
very beautiful. Now we obviously have to close out with a song, and I think Lose My Mind would be the perfect song to close out with, considering it's obviously your latest. So yeah, I mean, before we even do that though, I'd like to just thank you for joining me, Shanya. It's been a really amazing episode. I've learned a lot about you, and I feel like we can only give the audience so much. The rest they have to go out and then basically dig in, themselves. So before we close out though, are there any parting words you'd like to sort of share with the people that have been following your journey and supporting you this entire time?
I just want to say thank you basically to everyone that has listened to my music, because people don't realize, but every listen counts, every share counts, every like counts, every download counts, every little help counts, even if it's just a view. So I just want to say thank you to everyone that has really helped me through my songs, my music, Gino, Genevieve, my parents, my family, just like everyone out in the world. And I just wanted to also say a final thing, that even though you come from small places, it doesn't mean that you have to have small dreams.
And on that powerful quote, it's time to close the show. Thank you for tuning in. Do check out the rest of our episodes on our website. It's www.sludgeunderground.com. If you want to reach out to us, it's info@sludgeunderground.com. Don't forget to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, and don't forget to leave us a review as well if you enjoy the content. Next week, Marcel will be returning with Punk Fontaine. It's going to be a really wholesome episode. And we also have our merch line that's still out, limited edition tie-dye t-shirts. Do check that out. The link is in the description. And we're going to be closing out with Lose My Mind by Shanya. Until next time, thank you for tuning in. It is bye for now.
I don't wanna talk about it, it's so monotonous and so dishonest. Sitting in your old apartment, replaying memories, it's so exhausting. Running out of reasons, trapped in my feelings, watching my body from the outside. It's enough to make me lose my mind, but then I snap back to when we crashed and there was broken glass. Slow dancing, but the beat's just way too fast. Now you're gon' flex your fake Ferrari, you're not fooling anybody, nobody. Why do you make me lose my mind? Why do I think about you all the time? Guess I'm still lost inside my head. I said I'll never fall for you again. I thought we were over us. Why do you make me lose my mind? Why do you make me lose?